Cheers. Yeah, it's not available.
Maybe just make a story on your Instagram instead.
No, I have. I'll just put a photo up. Do we have a monitor tonight? No monitor.
Well, the monitor's in the lecture theatre, so...
So 41 people watching, which is good already. Just
Yeah.
post a comment, just going live, live at 7 on the dot. Leave any questions prior you have if you want about COVID, especially. Is the door open?
Yep, I believe it is, yeah. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, interesting to see how many come on tonight.
Yes, indeed.
Already got 60 on. 57. It's interesting. Instagram disabled their live video function, which is interesting. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hashtag Ask Jim. We've got 100 people watching already because we sent out the email. We thought it'd be appropriate with all the COVID-19 developments for franchisees, Zors and customers to have Jim say a lot of things to you in person. So use this platform right now to answer every question. And leave them in the Jim's Group Facebook one if you can to see them. If not, Ben will scan all the pages behind the camera. And let's get into it. So let's start off with the New Zealand developments, Jim, so far.
Yeah, well, New Zealand's basically shut down. So all of our franchisees are suspended. We've suspended the fees for the franchisors too, of course, since they're not getting any income. But what we're also doing is trying to make approaches to the New Zealand government to be considered as an exempt business, because things like lawn mowing and skip bins, actually skip bins not in New Zealand, are basically zero risk activities. You don't even have to talk to a client. You don't even have to see the client. You can get paid remotely. And a service like cleaning, for example, is actually helping people to cope with infection by going in there. And actually some places are having their cleaning done more often because of the infection. So we would like to see New Zealanders approaching their government to be considered for exemption, and we are certainly going to pursue that very vigorously in Australia.
So there's an email going out about that for the New Zealand franchisors to fill out those surveys and to
yes, I've already sent it out to the Mowing franchisors anyway, saying, go in there and put the case.
And there's dog wash as well in NZ. There's a lot of dog wash people as well. There'll be a similar one.
Yes.
Yeah. So I encourage anyone in New Zealand, please do that. Read Jim's email as well. Now let's talk about the Jim's Finance and bookkeeping as well. So Jim's Finance has been getting smashed with inquiries regarding information. They provided a massive information pack for anyone who wants to do it. Mm-hmm. They can assign you with a case manager to walk you through all those assistant packages, because there's a lot of confusion about those assistant packages. Yes. So if you email hello@jimsfinance.com.au or Jim's Bookkeeping as well, either or.
Jim's Booking knows a lot about it too.
Yeah, they both do. So it's up to you which way you want to go. But definitely get onto Jim's Bookkeeping or Jim's Financial Services. They are going to help you. They know your business and they know all the packages and laid out for you in plain English as well. So
a lot of benefits. How to get a better interest rate. Interest rates are coming down and crashing if you know the right place to go to. The governments are dishing out money for loans and guaranteeing loans. So there's a lot of help available if you know how to look for it, and that's what we want to help you with.
Yeah, definitely. So please take up Jim's Finance or Jim's Bookkeeping, and they will definitely help you out. They're really good. Now, let's and just saying it's business as usual for any customers watching this Australia. I had Russell from Jim's Mobile Tyres out to my place today to help me out, and we kept a safe distance, but he was great. All the precautions are in place for more franchisees, and I know that it's business as usual for most of them.
Actually, I need Jim's pest control. If anybody in my area, we've got rats in our hen house, and I want a good solution to that. What I've been doing hasn't worked.
So there's work there for a franchisee. All right, so people are tuning in now, which is great. We've got around 123 people watching. So if you are a franchisee or franchisor,
ask your questions.
Please ask your questions.
Know?
All right, I'm going to bang through them right now. So there's a lot of comments that were left. I'm going to try and go in order as we can right now. So let's go. Someone's gone, hope Jim's got hand sanitizer. Yes, we do. There's hand sanitizer in the office, so everyone comes in.
And we wash our hands a lot too.
Absolutely. And we have our water here too. The sips of water is a thing that I've learnt, which is every 15 minutes, if you can, have a sip of water. Then we've got Don McInnes tuning in, which is great. Steve Walker, Eric Jurgens, which is great. Enver's tuning in, which is awesome. And then he's gone, good social distancing practice. Yes, we are there. We're actually going to put a few logos tonight with the Jim's social distancing logos. We've done a few jokes. Some companies are doing that. We're going to put a few of them just up. If you want to use them to email your clients and say Jim's social distancing, I would recommend you use those logos. Bit something tongue-in-cheek, but it might help you keep going.
We are ultra cautious in the office. We always stay usually a couple of metres apart from each other.
Exactly right.
And washing of hands, everything. Nobody's got sick in our office. I don't even know of any franchisees who got sick.
We definitely hope not. David Don's gone, good evening, Jim and Joel. Did you bring the rice? There's no rice here still. Remember the rice? You're at your rice. And he's saying, where's the bear? Well, the bear is behind Jim's head. So the bear is still here with his mask on. He's just hiding behind Jim's head. So he is there. So if you do you want to grab him out, you can put him at the front maybe, just as a little thing there. Okay, so there's a couple of comments coming in now. So leave me if you're a franchisor. You are our priority, so we'll answer those as many as you can. If you've got a question for Jim, please use this platform right now. Paul Sanders has gone, we are offering free walkie-talkies to clients for the next month to enable social distancing and allowing our guys to stay safe. That's really cool. Yeah. So that's from Jim's Diggers, which is awesome. So offering free walkie-talkies, what a different marketing thing that is. That's
absolutely
really, really cool. And it's allowing them to stay safe and work. That's an awesome idea, Paul. And I would encourage anyone else, if you can afford that, that's really, really different. Okay, so let's keep going here with some more, which is going here. So I spoke to my accountant today and he's doing my 2020 return so we can claim the first payment. That's from Eric Jurgens. Speak to your accountant as well if you've got one. Yep. If not, Jim's Bookkeeping, Jim's Finance, which is great. Now, Patrick Butler. Now, this is a common thing. I've lost 3 customers, including a church and a gym and a house already. I'm expecting a lot more people to come. Aren't going to want to spend their money on services. That's a comment from Patrick Butler. I think you're in Mowing, maybe, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm not sure of the division, but all I can say is that most franchisees I've spoken to are doing okay and the work's still coming in. We're actually giving away jobs still. We're giving away jobs to Gyms Plus, to people who are desperate for work. Quite a few still going that our guys cannot handle. So I've had a couple of people from a couple of franchises approaching me saying that times are so desperate that you must have fee relief or no fees. And I actually had a look, and neither of them were taking any work outside territory. In fact, one wasn't even taking work in his territory. And I said, well, wouldn't be the first step be to actually take the work that's available? There's even unserviced work in your area. Go and grab that first.
And we've seen franchisees, Patrick, get on the front foot. They're doing individual email blasts to clients saying, this is what I'm going to do. I can do this. I'm not going to go near you, blah, 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 blah. We have franchisees in divisions doing that with great success. So ask your franchisor if there's any material he can provide you. Do that with your clients, maybe get on the front foot.
If you're in cleaning, make the point that you can keep them safe, that you come in and sanitize. Some people are having cleaning done more often, like daily instead of weekly, because it's the best way to protect against infection.
Yeah, there's definitely, it's a tough time for a lot, but there's a lot of opportunity as well for some regards. Now, Dave McDonald's going to keep the bear 1.5 metres away from Jim, although we try and get it forward there. 155 people watching now, Jim, which is great. So please ask your questions if you're franchisees. All right, Lovely Singh's gone, I've lost 70% my regular business going down. Let us know what your division are in, Lovely.
Yeah, we'd love to know your division if you come forward. We want to know what's going on.
Let us know what you are. I'm sorry to hear that. If you're cleaning our antennas or dog wash, put that in there, please, for us, Lovely, so we know. Sharon Connell's gone, hi, Jim and Joel. So hi, Sharon. Dog wash is still going, hopefully strong, with all their type of people. Okay, I'm going to try and get to the questions regarding COVID-19. Eric Jurgen's gone, we all need to remember that this is a medical crisis as such. Once it's over, the recovery will just be as fast as to recover. Maybe you want to talk about that in regards to independents and gyms, let's say post this time.
Well, the feedback we're getting is the independents are doing far, far worse than us. I mean, they're still coming to us for our jobs that we can't handle because their work is drying up, whereas we're still getting jobs. And in fact, in some areas, more than we can handle still. So what I see the potential for is that this crisis will actually knock out many of our competitors, and when the economy roars back into life, we'll be sitting in a great position. Hopefully with a lot more franchisees too.
It's an unfortunate thing to say, but it probably is the truth, isn't it? So
we've had a great training session, mostly online, but we've had, I think, a record number for ages in terms of numbers of franchisees.
We had 45 watching online, and the boys done a fantastic job, Ben and Jake and the presenters, to do it. We are making that available if this crisis keeps going, so
absolutely,
it's something to do. So Nathan, in regards to your pest problem, has gone, Jim, what you can do with the chicken shed is put it on a slab of concrete. We did that and it stopped the rats and mouses. That's the suggestion from someone else. Vicant's gone, we may not be sick, but a victim still. Business has dried up for test and tag. There's a test and tag franchisee.
Yeah,
that's a comment from him.
That is happening in some instances, yeah.
And Patrick Butler said he was in Mowing, which is surprising because some people in Mowing are still going. Yeah.
Most of the Mowing people I've spoken to are doing fairly well. It may require a bit more proactive marketing, active upselling, looking to your backlist and so forth. But most of them are doing reasonably well because there's no threat of infection in it.
Definitely. And then, whereas Roofy G's going to his point, hi guys, can you please remind people that there are mentors available for those that need to speak to someone how they can access it. That's a good point, Roofy. So on Gyms Online, there is a mentors button which is very clear. If you click on that, you'll be people in your state who will take your call if you are struggling just in general, like most people. And it'll also suggest you take up any hotlines and stuff that are available to you in this time as well. So that's on the Gyms Online. It's a great point, Roofy. So we'll go to another one here from Sharon. What are some good things that you can suggest that franchisees can do during their downtime to continue working on their business? Really good question, Sharon. If there is downtime, unfortunately, from what can they do and work on their business?
So that means they can't work at all.
Yeah. Well, she's saying, let's say they might slow down a bit. Let's say if they're only doing half the jobs and there's another half of the day to do something.
I think it's a good time to start approaching your backlist, people you've done in the past, and saying, now's the good time to get your dog clipped, your dog washed, maybe offer a discount because of the conditions. I've been looking for more work. I think that's the best thing to do with your downtime if you're quiet. Just actively promote yourself. We've been spoiled rotten in recent years. We've had so much work. And people haven't had to work hard. You just sit back and wait for the leads to come in. Well, what about doing some of the stuff that we can do? Upselling to different jobs, calling on the backlist. Just calling on people, ringing people up, saying, do you need work done, property managers and so forth. Just push the business, make it work. Get some more work out.
Yeah, I would say draft a document as well to say to your clients that you are doing all the appropriate measures. That's something simple you can do. I know Dogwash has done some Instagram stuff, and with that, I'd say do that yourself. Would be good.
Look at the seasonal tasks that might need to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting into autumn. It might be a time to start looking at leaves falling out of trees and so forth. But there's always things to be done every time of the year. Let's make the best of it, and let's promote our services.
And also would say as well, it's a very uncertain time for everyone, so it's hard for us. I know you're getting a lot of questions to provide certainty and direction and stuff, but it's also, if the government doesn't seem to know what they're even doing, it's very hard for us to give you anyone a certain answer.
Well, we're hoping they don't do a New Zealand thing and shut us all down. We're going to very vigorously try and get exemption if they do, but in the meantime, we'll still keep on trying to find our franchisees work. There's been some suggestions that we should cut out the advertising.
Oh, that's probably the wrong thing to do.
When work is quiet, the last thing you want to do is advertise less. If anything, we should put some more money into it and advertise more. Use some of the unused advertising to keep our guys busy through the downtime.
I've spoken to a few franchisors and they're going to do massive, big blasts, hopefully, regarding this. So that is definitely something we need to do. Now, Darren Laycock from NZ, who's mowing, who's gone, do you consider mowing an essential service? It's a good question.
I'd like to claim that it is, Darren. I really would. I mean, it's essential, not in a sense, but I mean, how do you define essential service? Apparently, liquor stores are essential service. If it's essential that you be able to get drunk when you feel like it, isn't it essential to have your lawns mowed? I mean, really. Well, and in actual fact, the difference is that if you go to a liquor store, you're at an extremely high risk of infection, and so is the owner. If you're going to mow somebody's lawn, there's pretty well zero chance of infection. So why not? Why not consider something that we can't?
It's great at the moment, so let's keep going. Now, Lovely Sing's gone, if my clients start cancelling my jobs, how are we expecting new clients? I'm with the cleaning group. So if my regulars start cancelling my jobs, how are we expecting new clients? I'm with the cleaning group. So they're going to keep advertising. That's what I would say.
Well, we are still going to keep advertising, and bear in mind that some people will want more cleaning done, and this is a matter of approaching your clients to explain to them, especially commercial clients, that you can help to keep them safe. That's part of what we can offer. In fact, you could probably consider cleaning to be more of an essential service.
100%.
The drinking, than alcohol, for example.
Yeah.
It's directly related to keeping the infection down, and what is a higher priority than that?
I've seen businesses on Instagram and stuff for cleaning, especially with commercial stuff going, COVID-19 cleans, all that sort of stuff. They are using that as a way to keep the business going for commercial customers. I say it's an education thing for your regulars as well. If 70% cancelling, why? What sort of pushback was done?
Even approaching local businesses that are still open and offering it as a service. You can go in at night after they're finished and you wipe all the surfaces down on a regular basis. Why not approach them and ask them about that?
You've got good divisionals and regional franchisors. Ask them as well to provide you with some material to make a letter from Jim. I know you've done a letter to some divisions. Use that in regards to all the standards and stuff, the contactless stuff you can do.
If you'd like us to write anything, just let me know and I can produce something for any division.
So please take that offer up on him, Lovely. That'd be great. Well, let's keep going here. So Jim's Mobile Tyres tunes in. So thanks for helping me out, Jim's Mobile Tyres, which is great. Here we go. Now, Taylor Alcock's gone with the question. This is a new one. Does Jim's have any way for us to order hand sanitizer so we can ensure our customers are safe? I'm not able to get any here in Goulburn or ACT, and the raw products are sold out.
I'm sorry, we just don't have any source of supply. No.
It's definitely something post this, which is going to be interesting, isn't it? If we could do that moving forward.
We can provide you with, if you're in Victoria, we can provide you with fruit and vegetables.
That's it at the moment.
For Jim's Home Fresh, so we're not really into the delivery business. Thorough washing with soap is a good thing to do. Just wash your hands, and they say you've got to sing happy birthday twice, but just do it very, very thoroughly. That is extremely effective at keeping infection off. I do it all the time, even when I come to the office. I never go anywhere near any other staff, but I open doors that somebody else might have asked. As soon as I get home, I wash my hands thoroughly. And I've actually still not biting my nails for the first time in 60 years. So we're just very, very careful about such things.
I would try some obscure places too, Taylor, like the tool shops and maybe Officeworks even. I know Officeworks sells toilet paper, which is something new to me. So just maybe try some obscure places as well and see online if you can. All right, so we've got George here. Hi, I'm a mowing franchisee, 18 years. Wow, 18 years as a franchisee. I tell clients to stay indoors, and if they need to speak to me, ring me while I'm there. Even to quote. I ring them while walking around their garden and tell me what to quote on. Jim, can you be our advocate and discuss with the Victorian government and say we have no contact with the clients and general public? Surely we can keep working regardless? Question mark. Great question, George.
Yes. Well, I've just now written to my my own local MP, Tony Smith, who's the Speaker of the House, who have some sort of clout, to ask him what to do. I'm trying to get advice on who's the best person to approach. One of the things we're thinking of was we might actually go to our franchisees and ask them to contact your local member and just explain this. I don't think members of Parliament understand how little contact we need to have with clients. I've been talking to franchisees who've been mowing lawns 20 years. The same client have never actually seen them. Everything can be done remotely. We are a very, very low risk business. And the same thing applies to other divisions like skip bins, for example, or fencing, or those kind
All
of things.
All tradie type things, yeah, everything.
Yeah. We're extremely low risk business, and we need to make that point. We're just still trying to work out what's the best way to approach it. But I think we should work together on this.
So the answer for that one will be for George. There will be a communication once you can find and put all the relevant contacts together, and it'll be sent out to most franchisees.
I'll see what my MP comes back with and what he would recommend. And I've been asking all kinds of people for their information and advice as to who to contact. Maybe there's a federal minister. If anybody's got any actual comments like that or knows who we might approach, I'd appreciate them. Just email to me, jim@jims.net.
And we have a lot of people watching now, which is 150 people, which is great. So make sure you leave your comments in the Jim's Group live one so I can answer them straight away. If not, Ben will scan the pages. So let's keep going here. Joshua Elms has left a comment. He's a mowing franchisee. I'm still doing okay. But my advice for mowing is to have a range of clients, like a mix of residential and commercial and government. So he's saying have a broad client base. And then we've got Brenton McKenzie. I'm about to move to officer in Victoria and have been looking at Jim's mowing franchise. What information can you give me in relation to this? What is included in the franchise costs? That's a franchise question.
Yes. I think it's better for you to talk to the local franchisor and see what they have to say, because it does vary from place to place.
Yeah, so 131546 or jims.net, you can do an inquiry, Brenton.
Yeah.
The regional franchisor will provide you with everything you need there. They're all experts in what they do. They'll give you all the figures, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it does vary from division to division and from region to region, so we'd rather not give answers which could be misleading.
That's correct. So
we'd love to hear from you. I mean, we really, it's a little bit down right now, but we are desperately in need of mowing franchisees, and we will be very shortly again.
Wait for spring, Brenton. Wait for spring, it'll be out of control. So if you're going to do it, get into it.
Well, I would say wait for the immediate crisis to be over and we're out of control, because if people aren't getting their lawns mowed, they're going to want it more, and the grass is growing pretty well right now.
True. So let's keep going. Jim's Mobile Tyres goes, you mentioned unserviced leads. Can you discuss how franchisees can get cross-divisional work? That's a great question for this one.
Well, I tell you what we're doing. We are being a lot more lenient these days on this kind of area. Basically, just ask your franchisor to organise it for you, and we'll do it. The only thing we do require you to do is to be properly insured.
Okay.
So if it's not in your division, you need to check your insurance with Yadrin and make sure you're properly covered. So that may cost a little bit extra, but we can actually tell you, or you can actually email me direct to jim@jims.net, and I'll help you with this kind of stuff too. I can tell you what unserviced leads are available in your area, which divisions have got surplus work. But certainly mowing would be one of the ones where we could look at. I don't think clean's got much that's unserviced, but fencing, but I wouldn't really want to have a go at fencing, because when people who aren't trained do it, it causes huge amounts of problems. But possibly things like handyman too. So
the answer is to email your ZOR and make sure you got the relevant insurance, which you can talk to insurance@jims.net. 1300 546 000 is the number.
Usually we'd ask the approval of the division, but because of the current situation, we're going to take a more lenient view of that. If you reckon you've got the skills to do it and you've got the proper insurance to do it, we'll let you have whatever there is.
Okay, so Matt Baskin with a question. Jim, how are you coping with the COVID-19 situation? Has it stressed you out much? Question. No, I don't. I feel we've been planning for this for some while. Even weeks and weeks ago, we were planning what would happen if the office shut down. We were well in advance. We had our IT people working on it. We've got all sorts. We're putting training online. We're doing fine. I mean, look, it's not a nice thing to be going through it at one level, but interestingly enough, it's actually potentially we could end up doing very well out of it, because we are getting the work. The work's still coming through. Our reputation is very strong, and I think that we're going to go out of it actually with more franchisees and more clients and more goodwill than we've ever had in the past. So Aaron Putty's gone in from Jim's Antennas. It's been a crazy week with everyone thinking we are going in to be locked down next week. So massive week for antennas. I can imagine with the digital TVs and all that sort of stuff. So
because entertainment is so important, yes.
Absolutely. So they'll be actually flat out. All the internets are slow in most people's areas now because everyone's accessing the streaming stuff.
I would think with antennas anyway, you wouldn't need to go inside somebody's house, or do you?
No, you don't. No, definitely not.
If you're going to replace an antenna, that would be an ultra safe thing to do. I would think that'd be another one. And you know, as to what's an essential service, I would reckon that if somebody's at home watching TV, they're not out there socialising with neighbours and passing infection around. So I'd say having good reception is doing very effective way of reducing the chance of infection.
True. So we've got 156 people watching now, which is great. So if you're a franchisor, please leave. We're going to whip through as many as we can. So Turgot's gone here. I've lost 90% of my regular work, and more than likely the other 10% will be gone next week. Tony from Jim's Cleaning Broadmeadows. And he's saying, just a heads up, Jim, what you're saying is going against what the Premier and Prime Minister have been saying all week.
I'm not sure what they've been saying, but...
Well, I think they've been saying... Well, I think they've been saying if you can avoid travelling, avoid travelling. But tradies, they've encouraged... Construction industry is still going, trades are still going and stuff like that. So
they have to shut down construction, and we're actually a lot lower risk than construction. I mean, travelling to somebody to mow their lawn or clean their house isn't like going on a crowded plane or going to a restaurant or something like that.
And I would say too, just talk to your Zor as well. You've got good franchisors in the Jim's Cleaning group, so please talk to them and just let them know what's happening, and they can see what they can do.
I think if franchisees are careful, the risk of getting or passing infection is trivial if you do the right thing. If you wash your hands properly, if you don't go close to clients, if you observe proper distances, I don't think it's putting anybody at risk. It's more likely that somebody's going to stay at home, is going to sort of socialise, have a few friends over because they get so bored, and that's how you're going to get infection happening, not by what we do.
Yeah, it's still unclear at the moment. That's the problem. If you're thinking one thing, Turgot, and we don't know the other way as well. So, but please talk to your Zor.
If you look at the things people are doing, going to restaurants, not restaurants now,
no,
going to supermarkets, going to bottle shops, where they're
not keeping the distance either.
They're not keeping the distance in those places too. They're pretty freaky. We try and avoid supermarkets as much as possible because that's the most risky thing you can do. Far more risky than going out as a sole tradie. Doing your job.
We're getting a lot of comments too now, Jim, so let's try and get through them. 150 people watching now, which is great, so they're going to get through as many as we can. Don McInnes has gone, we really need to be adaptable and flexible and think of ways to pivot in our business at the moment. And he's a test and tag franchisor, so they'll be filling it because they're a lot of business to business as well.
Yes.
Then Darren Laycock's gone, thanks for your answer, Jim. Liquor stores are closed in NZ, so it looks like things are not the same in Oz. They're definitely not at the moment. So he's saying liquor stores are closed as well in NZ.
You sure?
Yeah, that's what Darren's saying. So Darren's in NZ. Yeah,
well, no, I thought they were making that an exception. I thought it was a weird exception myself. Not being a drinker, I suppose I don't.
Yeah, well,
I don't see it as a.
Whereas I see it as an essential service. You definitely don't. Definitely don't. Been like with some of my housemates. Gee whiz, we need a few beers. Mal Ford's gone. I have a lot of elderly or disabled clients where I would think it would be essential for them. Others may be just a luxury. I have lots of new work coming over the last month and can't keep up. No cancellations at Mowing in Melbourne.
Wow.
It's an interesting one. Mal Ford.
We do hear different things. We hear some people saying that their jobs are cancelling. Some divisions like cleaning. Others they say they're flat out can't cope. It's not uniform at all.
We've got a lot of comments coming through, guys. Keep leaving. We're going to get to as many as we can. Richard Robert Jim's gone, mowing and gardening won't stop like cleaning, even in a 2-month shutdown, helping the people who can't do it themselves. As far as I'm concerned, is essential. Definitely.
We're going to push the argument. We're already getting settled to try and make the point that shutting us down would be an extreme blow to the economy and to a lot of families, and would not achieve anything in terms of reducing infection. Quite possibly the opposite.
And Steve Walkins replied to Lovely, gone, make sure you're still taking leads, so please make sure you're down all areas and leads, Lovely as well, from the Jim's Cleaning one. Matt Sheldon's gone, mowing, gardening should be essential for elderly and NDIS. Keep yards safe from tripping on hazards, slipping and leaves pruning away from pathways, etc.
Absolutely.
100%. Now Malcolm Bradley's gone. He's from NZ Test and Tag. As we have total lockdown here in NZ, can't see the government adding other services to essential, i.e. mowing. If everyone is already at home, they would more than likely mow their own.
Well, I just went on the website that's where you apply for this kind of thing, and one of the things they said is they're always open to new ideas. They're always open to change. So it's not as rigid as fixed as you think.
Yeah, well, let's hope they adjust as they fly. And that's the problem is everyone wants certainty, but there's not because they're adjusting it every day, aren't they? Based on certain things. So Todd Bryson's gone, no criticism whatsoever as we don't mind, but it is a new policy that lead customers be given our phone number to contact us first. We have actually found it to be positive. That was a comment from Todd Bryson.
Okay.
The comment again is no criticism whatsoever as we don't mind, but is it a new policy that lead customers be given our phone number to contact us first? We've actually found it to be positive. Has that been happening?
I think we actually tell the client that so and so will be calling them and give their phone number.
Well, we must be, and that's the case. He's saying it's been positive
I
from
think,
Todd
I,
Bryson.
think, I think it's a good idea.
I think at Jim's Mowing, Todd. I don't know exactly, but if you put that in your division as well.
I mean, I deal with complaints all the time, and one of the things that I believe in, I know people say we should slack it off on customer service because everybody's under stress. I think when work is falling down, it's the time you need to be very, very conscientious and scrupulous about chasing up clients and making sure you get it. And simple things like sending texts and stuff when you can't get through to a client can make all the difference between getting a job and not getting a job. And I think we need to redouble our efforts in that.
Definitely dot every I and cross every T with the method with this sort of stuff.
When you give a quote, follow it with a text. When you can't get through, do a text. Anything that if you turn up and the client's not there, send a text. It just sensible things that will help you to get more work and more income is what we need in this present day.
Let's keep going down. Thanks for your comments and questions, guys. There's 170 people watching, which is a record. Please leave them in there. We're going to get whipped to as many as I can in order. Richard's gone, hand sanitizer, spray meths on equipment and wash your hands. You can spray meths on your hand, but the skin will dry, blah, blah, blah. So he's provided some suggestion there not to spread the disease, which is great. Amanda Jane on the Jim's Mowing page has gone, we would really like more work. So I presume they're Jim's Mowing franchisees.
Yeah.
Talk to you, Zor. Make sure you're down in all areas. What else would you suggest?
Well, look to your backlist too.
Backlist,
look to your upselling. Yeah. What can you do for your current clients? What people have you serviced in the past? Now's the time to, if you've got any time on your hands, to start actively promoting yourself. Ringing up a client that you serviced some months ago and say, look, I'm going to be in your area in the next couple of days. Is there anything I can do for you while I'm there? Just that kind of question. You sit down and make 10 phone calls. Maybe you only pick up 1 or 2 jobs, but that's extra money. And that's what you need at this moment.
And create those documents. I've seen some Mowing Z's as well, and email you guys and saying we don't need to be there, all the safety stuff you're taking. Talk to you, Zora, as well. That'll be great in this situation. And other franchisees, please use them. And the mentors list if you need it as well, via Jim's Online. Eric Jurgens has gone here. Please make sure that when you're refueling at the service station to wear gloves. That's a pretty good point. Didn't think of that. Paul Kirby's gone from Jim's Bookkeeping. Jim, my tennis club is closed. Are you still playing? From Jim's Bookkeeping. Squash. You play squash, Paul. Are you still playing squash?
No, I don't actually at the moment. I've got a bit of a sore foot. I've got a splinter in it. I hope they're going to
fix it, have you?
I hope they're going to take it on Friday.
Gee,
I'm booked in unless they cancel last minute, but I'm hoping to have it taken out. It bugs me like anything.
There we go.
So can't run, can't play squash. I've got small worries compared to some.
That's exactly right. It's only small worries compared to now.
Actually, I bought myself a rowing machine.
I
can't run. I got this rowing machine. I can row 500 pools in 20 minutes. It's quite fun.
Daryl Anderson's gone, Jim, I may be able to supply sanitisers to a lot of franchisees from one of my customers. Daryl from the Mowing division. That's great, Daryl.
Daryl, you send us the information and we'll get it out. We're contacting franchisees often these days. So let me have the jim@jims.net. Send it to me.
Jim@jims.net and we'll forward it and distribute it. That's great. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
That would be great.
Then we've got Joshua Elms going, I have many clients that I've not seen and been servicing them for 10 years.
Yes.
Which is fair enough.
Exactly right.
And Linton from Pest Control's jumped on. So g'day, Linton, because pest control can still be useful as well. Obviously, there's an essential service as you would need. Now, here we go. Matthew Dwyer. Is it possible to set up gyms online so we can see unserviced jobs from other divisions? As we don't really know what's ahead, we may be able to jump on some of this work, obviously, if we are qualified and insured to do so. Can they see unserviced jobs from other divisions?
No,
they can't.
They can't actually. Right. Look, it's not a bad idea. We'll make a note. I'll talk to IT, see if that's a possibility.
How could they get a list? So if I'm Matt, can he ask his Zora who can actually provide that information to him to know what other ones there is available outside of the division?
Well, they could certainly go to the national office.
So national office, so who should they email? What's the email address?
Just national@jims.net.
National@jims.net with your question, yeah?
Yeah, or send it straight to me, jim@jims.net. I'll look for it. I'm answering about 200 emails a day right now, but
You are getting smashed, aren't you, with the end of your campaign?
If I have to be answering emails till 11 o'clock at night, I will do. I was actually up at 4 o'clock this morning answering emails. I was about 24 on my list.
Gee whiz.
I don't mind. I answer everybody. So, if you can't get anybody else, you email me.
The answer for now is to email to get the information, Matt, but in the future, yes, if it's something we can do.
We'll have a look if it's possible.
Yeah.
But certainly, I can't think there's that many people want this, but we can work out a complete list of unserviced leads in your area.
There we go. So Tony Diabru from Jim's Building Inspections. Hi, Jim. The building inspection industry has come to a halt.
Yes.
What advice can you give to us going forward?
I really can't. I think since auctions are basically banned.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
I do know that's the only region that I know of in Australia that's been shut down is one of the building inspections regions. So you're really getting hit bad, and I've got no solutions for you, I'm afraid. All I can say is if you absolutely cannot find work, we suspend your franchise. There's all kinds of government benefits available to help you through the tough times. We'll suspend the franchisor fees as well. We'll do everything we can to support you.
So what's the best way moving forward for that? Just email the ZOR and just to see what they can do with the divisional? Or?
Yeah, talk to your ZOR about it. A suspension has to be done by the franchisor. We can't do it ourselves unless we're the franchisor, which we are in some cases.
And obviously what Jim said before about working on your business as well, you probably, if you can do that, work on other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do with building inspections. It's not sort of a normal kind of thing. I think it's a peculiarly difficult situation. My impression is that building inspections has probably been hurt worse than the other division. But if there's anybody out there who's got any ideas, I'd love to hear them.
Definitely. Luke O'Neill's gone, how long do you think this will last, Jim, and how long before the economy will bounce back to what it used to be before? Which is a question I presume you're getting a lot. So
I really don't know. I mean, I would think that with the measures we're taking, we start to see some easing up after the first month. But as to the economy getting back, I just don't know. It's interesting what's happening in America. Trump's basically saying, in effect, we are going to accept that about 1% of the population will die because rather than take the hit to the economy, which is having an impact on us. Chinese are basically doing the same thing. They're roaring full force, which again impacts on us. They say there's no more cases. I don't believe it, frankly, but some people are saying that. And I think in the end, what we'll do is hopefully slow down the infection to the extent that the hospitals can cope. But to a certain extent, I think it's going to go through the community and a lot of people are going to get it.
I think the concerns of not having enough respirators and all that sort of stuff,
that's the big
right?
concern. If everybody got it now, you'd have a lot of deaths, which are unnecessary, including quite young people in their 30s and 40s. But most people who get it don't actually need to go to hospital. It's just like a flu. So I suspect it won't go on that long, not at this level. I just don't think the economy will stand. I don't think governments can handle it.
Well, the market rallied today based on the US news, so the ASX definitely rallied back today strong based on the US, so it's going to be an interesting time. Let's say in US in 7 days, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because that's going to be the example, I guess.
Well, things like, whether restaurants open or airlines is one thing, but most other businesses with care, I mean, we just act differently. We avoid each other. We in the office, we just stay 1.5 metres, 2 metres apart at all times. It's just become second nature. You wash your hands all the time. You're just very, very cautious. And I'd be surprised if the rate of infection doesn't start dropping.
Someone here has gone to comment, Richard Roberts gone, Jim's being a market leader could be argued as a key stakeholder to government. Yes, Jim's to have a direct contact with government on a federal level.
Well, Tony Smith's pretty senior, so and I know because I run fundraisers for him, so like
he needs the help. Okay, that's exactly right. That's a good point.
If anybody's got any clout, I should. We run a whole lot of foothills for him. Had all sorts of.
We're calling the favours to Tony Smith, so hopefully he can do some work and hopefully help us out. So, and then Linton's gone, pest control technicians already have the correct PPE to prevent cross-contamination and protect our clients, which is absolutely a great point. Nigel's watching from NZ, so Nigel, thanks for tuning in. Emmanuel's gone here, hi Jim, I've just finished the test and tag training. I've been working for 4 weeks exactly. We haven't had any leads here for 1 week. Tried calling, but can't even get my foot in the door. They won't accept my business card. They write my number down. My franchisor has been outstanding. Just wondering if you had any ideas. Thank you.
No,
test and tag,
I'm
Emmanuel.
Sorry, I don't. It's a very difficult situation. People who've already got regular clients are going to find it easier, but getting a new client this time is really bad.
So the offer for him is to regarding maybe a suspension or something like that?
Yeah. I'd approach your franchisor about a suspension, and just it's just uniquely bad. Other divisions are not hit so bad. Apart from, as I said, building inspections is probably the worst. But mowing's going pretty well. Cleaning's losing a bit, but a lot of franchisees tell me they're still flat out. And pest control's going okay, and tenants is flat out. So it's
Please talk to you as FSO, as Jim was saying, Emmanuel, and thanks for tuning in and commenting. And sorry to hear that as well. Eric Jurgens has gone, how about the training aspect of doing others' work? Is that regards to the cross-divisional stuff maybe, Eric, you're talking about?
Well, look, you're not going to be doing things like building fences or pest control if you have no idea what you're doing. But there's a lot of things like gardening work and stuff, which I think anybody can reasonably have a go at. If there's anything, I mean, I would like to see no work going out of gyms at all. I'd like to see every job serviced that we can service, particularly in divisions like that. And there's still jobs going bust. And people were complaining to me about lack of work, and I just look at it and I say, well, hang on a bit. This is all the unserviced leads in your area over the past week. What about doing some of those?
Yeah, so make sure you adjust your areas, guys, and old areas, and
maybe travel a bit further, expand your rural areas, and look at where they're going. If you have the for yourself, everybody knows that if you put yourself down as being emailed about any or texted about any unserviced leads in your region, you can certainly do that.
Definitely. And Adam Power's tuned in. So Adam's from Fencing as a franchisor, and they've been doing a lot of emailing to customers about their precautions and stuff as well.
Yes.
So I've got a Jim's Fencing specific one. And Fencing is a one where they don't have to, they can do quoting without interacting with the client, all that sort of stuff as well.
I think it's important to recognise that there are some people losing their jobs, but the great majority haven't. So, people are still there, and they can't spend on overseas holidays and stuff. There's no reason why they can't spend with us. And I do think, too, as time goes on, as, the initial uncertainty passes, people are just going to be, they've still got money. They've got to do something with it. You can't go out to restaurants, you can't go overseas. What are you going to do? Well, why not get your yard fixed up? Why not get a fence built? Why not get some carpentry done? Why not do things that you normally couldn't? Maybe even couldn't afford, because now,
And we do have pay plans and stuff like that available for customers as well. So I guess we've got to be careful with the messaging, but I guess we need to make them know that our franchisees take all the utmost care and they don't need to interact in any way, and they can use this time to get stuff done around that probably couldn't before. So Jim's Mowing Bay, plenty in Hawke's Bay, and NZ's gone in. Lockdown, everyone is at home, so more risk. Why put yourself at risk if you don't have to? Lawns can wait for a month. If we all play our part, we can beat this. If we don't, we will continue on longer and we'll put more at risk, which is absolutely true. So everyone needs to abide by the social distancing.
Yeah. But I do think if you're mowing somebody's lawns, if you don't see them, if you don't set eyes on them, if you only talk to them remotely, if all the payment is remote, the chance of infection is 0, 0, 0. If you do stupid things, then yes, you can get infected. If you even do things you have to do, like go to a supermarket, you can get infected. But going and mowing somebody's lawn, I cannot comprehend it if you don't actually go anywhere near the client.
And that's for multiple gym services, fencing, antennas, dog wash, could be for anything. So
yeah,
that's definitely what we need to keep communicating. And franchisees, please.
Well, with dog wash, you'd have to actually get their dog somehow.
I know, they could open the door and stand back and let it come out, grab the leash, away they go. They could definitely do it.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that most of our services have got any significant risk of infection at all. There are so many more dangerous things you can do with your time.
Now, Adam Powell's gone here. Hi, guys. Cross-divisional work can't be done in fencing as you need to be licensed in NSW and Jim's Fencing NSW.
Yeah. No, I said
that's correct.
Fencing is out, and also pest control is out.
Correct. I'm around 17 minutes behind in the comments, guys, because there's so many, so please keep leaving and get to as much as you can. David McDonald's gone, you need to test the outlet and tune the TV. Then Aaron Putty's gone, I agree with David, you still need to go inside and test, but, sorry guys, lost that question. Agree with David, you still need to go and test, but we will hopefully be considered an essential service in the telecommunications industry. That's a good point. That's for Jim's antennas. And the Rav's gone, thanks for the information, Jim.
Well, if you can get your TV fixed, you don't have to go to a neighbour's place or somewhere else to watch TV.
That's true. That's exactly
so
right.
You're actually helping preserve people against risk. Because if you want people to stay home, surely the first thing is to make sure they've got the entertainment necessary to let them stay home.
And they do all the communications with Wi-Fi and stuff as well, so they can do a lot more services.
Because people are doing stupid things. They go out and they're still having parties, like what happened at Bondi and so forth.
Ridiculous.
So the more we can do to keep people at home and comfortable, the better.
That's it. Van Linton's gone, the pest control division hasn't seen a drop in leads as of yet, and interesting, some regions are setting records. Might be because people are spending more time at home and noticing the pests. That could be definitely the case.
And I think the more it happens, the more that's going to go on. I really do. People will not stop having these things done indefinitely.
Now, Narav's gone here. Do you have any advice for the solar/energy industries? Narav Modi. Advice for any of the solar or energy? Maybe he's joining Jim's Energy, this fella.
I would say probably solar is going to be a bad one. I honestly can't see people wanting to invest at this particular stage of time.
It's going to be a struggle this time, isn't it? Yes.
I think that's one of the ones that will be affected. It's quite a small division, of course, these days, but it's hard to see.
It's hard to see. Thanks for that question. Justin's gone here. Justin Kerr's like, Jim, how are the test and tag new business leads going by state? I've recently started an ACT, which was one of the highest lead areas. March has dropped off right now. Only 2 for me personally.
I do know that leads have dropped off. I can't give you the figures. If you want to email me, I'll give you anything.
So Jim@jims.net. Justin and Jim will provide you with any information you need.
I know people talk about emails, but I will get back to you. I'm responding to all emails.
You are. You seem a bit tired. I was going to say not before, but you seem a little bit tired because you've been working flat out.
Yes, yeah, it just keeps on going. But I think it's important to be in contact.
Definitely. Then Sandeep's gone here. How long do you think this crisis would be or will be? Sandeep Kumar?
Look, as I said before, my suspicion is after a few weeks we're going to start seeing more. If we get a total lockdown, it's for a month. That's what they're doing in New Zealand. They won't do it indefinitely. They can't have the whole economy go to a complete halt. It's just to get the infections down. So my suspicion is within a few weeks we're going to things going back to normal. That's what happened in China. They got the infections down and they come back again.
Yeah, economies just can't handle the.
They're not suggesting it's going to be. It can't be like 6 months because we just can't stand it. The economy can't stand it, no matter what the consequences. We can't do that. So hopefully, all they're saying is if we slow it down now, if we get a lot of testing done, the more testing they do, the better, because then they can trace people into contacts. But the interesting thing about it is most of the infections are still coming from people that are just come back from overseas. There's relatively little community infection going on.
So around 15 minutes behind in the comments, guys. We're going to get to as many as we can. So Dave McDonald's got, if Mowing is an essential service, would waste transfer stations have to be open? This would just create another risk. Depends if they do.
But I don't see why they wouldn't, because of the fact that once again you don't have to handle it. People don't go in and pick up the garbage by hand. The way I've seen these things, they have bulldozers. There's no physical contact between people. It'd be one of the safer sort of areas to go into.
And Joshua Elms has gone here. Can we please bring it back to be able to see the unserviced leads on other divisions on gyms online? Was that ever in place?
Bring it back.
Bring it back. He's saying he's been around for 10 years, Josh. So he might know.
I don't know of it. We'll definitely look that up. It might be possible just to do a simple change that you can see all the unserviced leads in your area, including for other divisions. I'll just ask. I have to ask. Live about that.
Then Dave McDonald's clients get an email if it's turned on. That might be regarding leads and stuff like that. Then we keep going. He almost need a widescreen phone. Jim's almost cut off from the screen. Well, we've had to keep the distance in. The camera's placed enough. We're going to do a few gym photos tonight.
I don't want to be too close to this guy.
Yeah, this gives him a great excuse, doesn't it? Just not to get near me at all. You're too close normally.
I'm not a very huggy person, actually. I've got to say. I don't like physical contact. I really would not mind if we permanently got rid of handshakes. I reckon a polite bow in the Chinese sense. I always thought that was a good idea.
It's a bit of a Sheldon Cooper type statement there, Jim.
I like getting close to my wife and maybe some younger kids, but apart from that, everybody else can stay right away from me.
Make that your kids. They're your kids, obviously, the kids.
My kids.
That's exactly right. So let's keep going here. You Renault's gone, Jim should push online marketing, which is so important for keeping the brand name out there, like advertising during these times. Perhaps keep coming online from NZ in lockdown when Aussie's just as an unserviced. So when this ends, our FSCs hit the ground running with a backlog of work.
We can't afford to advertise in New Zealand. Bear in mind, advertising is done by franchisors, not by nationals.
But I think he means keeping the customer booking open. So even though it's going to go unserviced, once the lockdown goes, we can go bang to everyone who wanted a job during that time.
Well, the problem is if everybody's suspended, the customers go online, they won't see anything. So unless you have a situation where you're going to be opening up after 1 week, and then the customers can book delayed calls. What they call it, post-dated calls.
Post-dated leads, yeah.
But there's no. If a franchisee is suspended, they literally can't take leads. They just won't go through to them.
So let's keep going on here now. Todd Bryson's gone, yes, it's happened a couple of times this week. We have found it great. They don't call others. They ring us immediately. Yes, Mowing. So that's with the initiative with the call centre regarding the mobile number. Sorry, guys, we are a bit behind in comments because there's so many coming through, which is great. I'm going as fast as I can. Here we go. Malford's gone, me again. Sent a generic text to all my clients this week, reassuring them of my extra precautions while being able to still provide them with service. 80% of clients replied within the same day and were so appreciative of the message.
Excellent. So what exactly did he do?
He sent them a text to the client saying, reassuring that I'm taking all precautions necessary while building it to provide
Yeah, this is the kind of thing too, and especially for somebody like in cleaning. It is working for some people are very, very busy in every division. There's people who are doing it right. It's good to let's work out what's working.
And they're going to want to support you more in this time than in other time, I would say. I would
say if you're in cleaning, and that's why I wrote that particular spiel Go to your clients, explain what you're doing, tell them that you're actually taking precautions, and tell them that you're going to help them to avoid infection. And this is what you can do, and this is the precautions you take. It's not a huge thing.
So that's a poignant one, because Eddie from Jim's Cleaning, sorry, this is at 7:30, still hope you're watching. Most franchisees aren't getting enough leads, and even regular clients are cancelling due to coronavirus. How will Jim's Group support us? Question from
Well,
Eddie.
by giving you advice on how to get more work, fundamentally. I know some people say, well, Jim, you're a multi-billionaire, why don't you just pay all my costs for the next month? But I don't think they quite understand the economics, where we get something like 2% of our franchisees' turnover. If we were taking 50%, it'd be different. We'd have a lot more.
And Eddie's in cleaning, and as Jim's saying, there's other divisions which are doing quite well, and obviously cleaning. But cleaning's one where, as I said...
But cleaning, some guys are actually getting plenty of work, because it's a matter of how you approach things. You go to your clients and explain what you're doing, explain that you're going to keep them safe from infection, explain how you actually need more frequent cleaning now, and explain that you don't need to be in the same room at all, but you can come in and you can really, really give them a safe environment.
And I think fact sheets about how long it can live on surfaces and stuff would be good as well. Like
Yes.
3 days or whatever it is. Find those fact sheets.
Take a proactive approach to it. Don't just sit back passively say they're cancelling. Look at why they're cancelling and what you can do. Some people are actually getting cleaning done more often.
They are, and some companies are making a lot of money doing the COVID sort of stuff like that.
But you show yourself to be an expert. You know what to do. You know how to clean surfaces really thoroughly with the right kind
100%.
that cleans them.
We
Keep
should-
people safe.
Absolutely, Eddie. So please talk to your Zora as well, and your divisional. They're great in the Jim's Cleaning Group.
And talk to other franchisees in your region. What you'll find is if you talk around a bit, you'll find that people are saying, "Hey, I'm doing this and it's working brilliantly." And it'll be different for every division, but there are ways of doing things.
Let's keep going here. Eric Jurgens from 18 minutes ago. How far away is the ability to send text from gyms online, and can this be pushed through sooner?
Text through gyms online.
Yeah, can this be pushed through sooner? Obviously, Jimbo's going to be able to do that. That's the question from Eric. How far away is the ability to send text from gyms online, and can this be pushed through sooner?
That's not Jimbo. That'd be Jim's Jobs.
Jim's Jobs, sorry. Jim's Jobs.
Probably not. We're at the moment just trying to get Jim's Jobs finished in the basic form, so we should be ready by end of the month.
And another question here from a cleaning franchisee. What are you going to do? What are we going to do if we go into lockdown with our fees? Question mark.
If we're in lockdown, then your fees stop. Franchisees' fees stop. Franchisor fees stop.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that. We've got plans afoot for the national office basically closed down except for a few essential people.
That's it.
People go on. What else can we do? We hope it won't come to that. We're really going to fight to try and keep being shut down.
So once you find the
Even
information,
worse.
please use that information. If Jim says the local members in your state or whatever, please do what you need to do. Once we find the information, we'll do an email. Paul Mitchell's gone, does the minimum pay guarantee go on your net income for the month or on your gross, e.g. tip fees come out, and what about GST?
It's on your gross income.
On your gross income? Yep.
Yeah.
And what about the GST component?
Right, it's including GST.
Including GST. Okay. Let's keep going now here. Josh is going, Josh from Cleaning in Tassie. We're still getting leads and other franchisees getting more jobs. I think we are essential service, which is great.
I'd like to think so.
That's in Jim's Cleaning in Tassie. And then here we go. Here, Peter Pan's gone, VW are changing production line in Germany to make around 200,000 respirators, which is quite interesting. And then UK looking at making respirators less complicated, more cheaper. Sandeep's gone, I think the solar industry is hitting bad as well. Are you taking questions not related to COVID-19? We're trying to do the COVID-19 ones, Matt, tonight, and I've got a heap coming in. So if you just leave it in there. Dave McDonald's gone, I'm not getting emails for unserviced leads. I rang Infotech last week and haven't got a response. Dave McDonald. I'm not getting emails.
Unserviced leads for your division.
For your division. Yeah. I rang Infotech last week and haven't got a response.
David, just email me. I'll check you down for it. There should be a sort of a button that you can do it. Certainly a franchisor can do it. It's just on the what we call the miscellaneous scheme. By the way, asthma. That's not that.
Yeah, definitely not. So, now, Des Warren. Des is one of our mowing franchises. G'day, Des. Thanks for watching. The PM summed up something very important last night. His comment was that all businesses other than those locked down are essential as families need to be fed. Dan Andrews would relate strongly with this. He just needs to understand how low risk some of our divisions are, especially mowing. Suggest representations to his office by Jim directly might just help, as that's an argument that is marginal at the moment.
So,
that's from Des.
To go to who? Which?
To Dan Andrews, he's saying. The PM summed it up, but
well, to all the premiers, of course, because we're across the country.
Correct.
Look, yeah, I don't mind approaching the. I know there's a sort of a national cabinet that's got the premiers and the prime minister in it all together. So I'm not quite sure where the way to go is.
But the answer is, Des, he's asking for Tony to give you the advice or whatever you need to do, and you're going to do it. So it is going to happen, Des, and once those information is, we'll share it with everyone.
Yeah, if anybody's got any specific answers to that, as to who the best people to approach are, I've been asking a number of people exactly this question. What's the best way to go? Is there one particular person or there's one email address? How do you do it? I know what you do in New Zealand because I got the website, but I don't know what you do I don't know what you do in Australia. So we're just going to approach people and see what comes up.
But once Jim finds out,
we'll fight for you because we've got a good case.
And once Jim finds out, he's going to share it with everyone and hopefully get
Absolutely.
you order by massive numbers, bang, to the same person if that's the case, or multiple sources. Stephen Ford's gone, should we be wearing a mask if we need to meet a client? Question mark.
I don't think you should meet a client at all. I think you should stay. I don't think masks are that helpful from what I've been told.
Oh, apparently they're useless masks.
Yeah,
So it
you're
just
much
gives
better
you-
off just standing at a big distance, and maybe you just talking to somebody by mobile phone. Seriously, I would not get close to anybody wearing a mask. It's just not good enough.
Now we've got a question here from Richard Birch. This is a great question, actually. Given some of our customers are out of work, what are your thoughts to giving long-term customers credit for 3 months?
If you can afford to, but yeah, you're not making an income for yourself, are you?
Or maybe Jim's pay plan is a suggestion, which is
Yeah,
like
Jim's
a...
pay plan is
yeah.
certainly a possibility, but that's for major jobs. But sure,
No, you can use it for our little jobs now.
can they?
Absolutely. You can do like a package deal. So if it's a 3-month package deal, you can do smaller amounts now.
But look at Jim's pay plan. Yeah, in the email I sent out, all the details are in there. You can apply for it and start using it. So that's a good thought, actually. Use Jim's pay plan. I didn't know you could use it for small jobs.
You can, so you can bundle up clients' jobs and you can do it for smaller amounts now. They're getting more or less amounts, which is good. So Jim's pay plan. So Mark William Hansen's gone, we have 100 plus regular clients. We have not seen more than 20% of them more than 5 times in 10 years
Yes.
from Jim's Mowing. And then he's
So why should they cancel?
correct, and he's gone here, mowing franchisees should be able to carry on in some capacity. If we don't maintain gardens, we could have further issues in months to come. So that's a good point. Then Wilson's gone here. Wilson's away from cleaning. Cleaning is not an essential service. Has been shutting down from last week. I don't know if that's in NZ or if that's in Australia still, that comment. He's saying cleaning is not an essential service. I don't see that's not an essential service, but that's me.
I don't see the logic behind that. To me, cleaning is more of an essential service than a bottle shop. I know I said that before, but the fact is, the matter is, you go into somebody's place or an office and you clean and you sanitize regularly and you do the services. That's pretty important in terms of keeping the risk of infection down.
Yeah.
I can't see how drinking beer is an essential service.
And Con's gone here. He's from Jim's Cleaning as well. Con's gone, I've lost a few clients. Not much income as before as clients are working from home now and prefer to do work on their own. Will the fees and leads be reduced during this time off lockdown from Jim's Cleaning? Question mark.
That's really up to your franchisor. Fees are a franchisor business. What we have said, if there's a particular case in an area where their really work is very hard to come by, then the franchisor can proportionately reduce the fees. Like we did it in Western New South Wales for mowing in the drought. So I think they reduced the fees by 30%, and we took our takedown by 30% too. So talk to your franchisor. If there's a genuine hardship case, if the income is definitely down, then a proportional decrease is certainly possible.
Yeah, so please take up your Zor on that one if that's the case, Con, but thanks for tuning in and leaving a comment.
I think there's a case for a division like cleaning. I really don't think most divisions it's the case at all. We just haven't seen that degree of drop-off.
So email the Zor and let's hope things pick up and try those things that Jim was suggesting earlier with like be proactive with all that sort of stuff as well. Hopefully that can help you out. Lloyd Richardson's got any bookkeeping and help franchisees with the stimulus package. Absolutely. At the start we mentioned bookkeeping and Jim's Finance as well. Please use one of them and use them to help you out. Then Peter Whiteside's gone, own a mowing franchise, nothing has changed and still going crazy. That's from Peter Whiteside, he's a mowing franchisee. And then,
Yeah, I get this all the time actually. Some people are saying the work is drying up and other people say I just can't cope with it, and particularly in mowing, I must say.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Then Eric Jurgen's gone, in 9 to 12 months, maybe you should consider Jim's baptism as a new service. I don't know.
Well, you had to have a church for that. I don't think the first church...
Well, we've been told a few times the one true church of Jim from that Stepmates video. They had that in there, so here we go. We'll keep going.
I'm not sure what my pastor would think of that.
Yeah, not a good one. I'm thinking with those sort of rules, even though... Hey, Jim, what are your experiences doing your PhD? Run a company in the disability sector and currently doing a PhD. I'm finding it very difficult to manage the two, as one would expect. That's a non-related coronavirus question, so we've got that one through.
Well,
You're trying to run a company plus do a PhD. It's pretty tough. What do you reckon? What's your advice from him? What were your experiences doing your PhD?
nobody works 100 hours a week. It's amazing what you can get done. I actually wrote a couple of books when I was running gyms, and you know, you just spend the time. Often I used to get up very early in the morning. Actually, I found that the best time.
My advice for you: there's a book called "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins. There's a sector in there about how if you actually map out your day, how much wasted time there is. So I'd say "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins is the best audio book.
Get disciplined. If you want it, just lay some time aside. I used to get up very early in the morning. You know, I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you could have a couple of hours with nothing going on, no interruptions, nothing. And it just means you go to bed a bit earlier at night, that's all. Let's
get into one here. Tony Morrison from Jim's Antennas, who's been a franchisee for 17 years, which is great. And thanks for tuning in, Tony. If my franchise is forced to stop operating due to a lockdown, will my gym's fees be suspended automatically?
No, you have to actually approach your franchisor and ask for it to be done. It's not automatic. You just have to say, I want it. And he has to have the evidence, because we can't suspend you without your formal request. That's not possible by our contracts. But if you request it, then and you are definitely locked down, well then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a very liquid situation. We're just going to adjust based on what's
the whole of New Zealand's been shut down. The whole thing's been done, and it's quite smooth. It's not a difficult process. It's not something we'd rather not do, but it's not difficult to handle.
And then Hugo from Dale Brooks. Thanks for watching, Tony. 17 years. Congratulations on that long in business as well. Dale Brooks. Hey guys, it's great to hear you're pushing for an exception. Gardens will only need to grow for a few weeks before people realise that gardening mowing is essential. I'm sure plenty of people will be complaining about their untidy gardens if they're let go. If the government keep everyone unemployed, fairly financial, but unable to socialise, we might be busier than ever. Anyone who can work needs to work for the sake of the economy.
Absolutely, it does too. And we see this as a responsibility. We want a responsibility to keep people healthy, but responsibility to keep the economy doing whatever we can as well.
And Nigel's gone here. You do answer emails very quickly, Jim. A real credit. Absolutely, you do. Because you're neurotic about your inbox, aren't you? You just hate having it in there.
Yeah, I do.
You like clearing it.
Yeah, I go away for half an hour and there's 18 emails in my inbox. So I just sit down and do it. By the time I finish, there's another 10 there. So it's
that's it.
It's never ending. But I always finish it. I will not stop work until I've cleaned my inbox.
That's it. And you've been flat out. So appreciate the franchisees and Zor's emailing as well. And Jim's answering, which is best
people need answers at this time of year. They really do. And that's my responsibility.
100%. Jim Stickers Australia. We're finding all the dump sites and transfers in Melbourne and Sydney are still open. As Paul Sanders is saying. Good. So we're catching up with the comments now. We're doing the best we can. Malcolm Bradley, the longer your government don't go into lockdown, the longer you possibly might be in lockdown when it comes.
Well, that's possible. There's different theories all over the world. You've got the Americans at one extreme who are just basically letting it rip, at least very shortly, and then you've got New Zealand at the other extreme, and we're somewhere in the middle, I suppose. But we don't know what's going to work. That's the problem.
Well, no one knows.
They're just guessing. They're trying different systems. They knew what Italy did wasn't working too well, so we don't want to go that way. But
Dave Mansard's gone here agreeing their handshakes. So maybe that was regards to meeting new clients. Dave Mansard, so thanks for watching, Dave. Then Sharon Connell's gone, dog wash are lost without hugs. That's correct. Dog wash are lost. Dogs, actually, it's probably a good time for people to get their dogs. They might look at it and go, it's a bit matted and whatever, I need a bit of a cut.
Dogs can't get the virus.
That's true, actually, so hug your dog.
That's pretty safe. You can hug your dog, and you can hug your client's dog. So that's all right. Just especially after you washed it. But
there we go. So Alvy's gone here. Alvy, hello. Alvy from the Gym's Energy Division. Could we potentially see a suspension of franchise fees if work happens to be slow during this COVID season?
Look, if the work completely dies up, especially a division like yours without regular clients, then obviously that's what should happen.
And you've got to talk to Zor about that, is the answer.
It's always your franchisor. It's amazing everybody thinks that I'm the one that personally decides. I don't have any power to do it. Franchisors are the ones. I am the franchisor for a number of different regions.
Yeah.
In that case, I can make the decision. But if I'm not the franchisor, I can't do it.
Then Eric Jurgen's gone here. Maybe there should be a way to suspend fees but keep the franchise open so that even some leads can still come through. It's an interesting comment.
But how do you pay for it? Because you can't have the call centre employing people to take all the calls if they don't get paid.
Correct.
I mean, you know, Jill is great, but you know she can't work for nothing. She can't employ staff and pay for their wages when nobody's paying her. So you one or the other. You close down and there's no leads, or we keep going.
Lamisha Watson's gone here. Jim, a fan of a good recession. Apparently it makes more franchise sales, more money in his pocket. Misha's a former fencing franchisor. Glad to see you watching, Misha, and leaving a positive comment as always.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, We want to look after our people. We want to grow as an organisation. I'd rather it didn't happen, but the fact of the matter is we have got a lot of work.
But in regards to the recession comment, just forget gyms overall. We've always been selling off assets to stave it off for years, privatising left, right and centre. Maybe it's a good time to reassess what we do as a nation in regards to not selling off our assets left, right and centre to prop up an economy, which is probably maybe due. I'll keep going. Jim's group. Dina Margin. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim and Joel. As a point of interest for cleaners, there's an induction online that the Department of Health has initiated. You complete a survey of questions and then you get an infection control training certificate. Yes, I've heard about this. We have completed ours and forwarded it to all of our commercial and domestic clients. That's great advice.
That is fantastic. So how can you get that access?
I think you have to Google. It's Department of Health. So Google Department of Health COVID certificate. I have seen these running around online, so it's a great point actually.
Okay, brilliant. Yes, absolutely.
Dana, can you put the link maybe in the comments or let us know? That'd be awesome. That's a fantastic one, and I suggest franchisees do that.
And we should make sure it goes to the division too.
Yes, I think
I hadn't heard about that one, so that's a very good suggestion.
No, fantastic, Dina, and that's great positive work on your end. All right, Eric Jones gone. You can still hug the dogs, and the owners will love to see that. Absolutely. Then this guy, I think Markman from Jim's Clean's gone. Jim, they are still cancelling. Yes, but I would suggest do those courses and do the proactive things. You might have some cancellations, but you got to be proactive. You know, we can't. Unfortunately, it's a terrible circumstance.
Look, we've been spoiled. We've had so much work for so long. We haven't had to struggle for work. Now we're in a situation where in some cases, not all, we need to actually do some extra stuff we haven't done in the past. We need to do the upselling. We need to approach customers and reassure them. We need to approach past customers and ask them if they want things done. Maybe we just need to take some more effort. And if you've got time, if you're not working as many hours in the week as you'd like to, then you've got time to sit down and do it. And one of my guidelines has been you should be working your normal week. So if you normally work 40 hours and you've only got 30 hours worth of work, you've got 10 hours to spend at the minimum finding more work. And if you do spend those 10 hours effectively, then you will find more work.
And I would also say, go to your Zora and go, give me 10-point plan to do. Give me something to do, and I'm going to do it every day, regardless if that's doing whatever.
And you will find people in your region who are flat out who are doing this sort of stuff. So talk to your fellow franchisees.
Correct.
By phone, not in person.
Yeah, exactly. FaceTime and whatever you want to do. But please talk to your Zora and get them to hold you accountable maybe. Maybe you might need someone to give you a 10-point plan today. You are doing this regardless.
Yes.
Please have a real crack at it.
There is work around. Some people are finding it. You work out what they're doing and do the same thing.
And we have some of our document staff saying, looking forward to coming back in the office as soon as possible. It's lonely at home. I miss my work buddies. Thankfully, work hasn't really slowed down though, so it's making the days go faster.
Oh, we miss you too.
That's Ange. I don't miss your Ange. Stay home, please. Dave McDonald's, if head office goes into lockdown, will you pay all your staff? Call centre, ETC, and Joel, of course. Definitely not paying me. No. I'll be going free. I'll be going. I'll be in the Centrelink line. That's what I'll be doing.
No. If we go into lockdown, we will put staff on unpaid leave. There's nothing else we can do. We actually will pay some holiday pay in advance. We'll give people some money to get through it. But seriously speaking, if we tried to pay all of our staff when there's no income coming in, we wouldn't last.
Yeah, staff are going to have to make concessions. There's no two ways about that. And like everyone else is doing, and that's the only fair way. And then once we bounce back, we'll be right to go again. So. That's the thing.
We've reduced our costs already. Actually, we've not our software development team's gone back to 4 days a week.
Unfortunately, yes, we've had to do some things.
We've
definitely cut a lot of things. Yeah.
So, and we haven't replaced certain staff. So we are tightening our belts as much as we can here.
100%.
Still providing the full service.
Now, Linton Paddock's gone. How did the gym's generic training go this week with potentials listing online? It was great. Linton, we had around 45 watching. Ben and Jake did a fantastic job. The presenters did a great job. I'm going to make that as a moving forward as an option as well. Post the crisis, though, we want people to come to the training still. So post-crisis, we'll try and maybe stop online training.
It is a better experience when they come, but for the time being, remote training will happen and we can start people. I mean, the interesting thing is that in normal sense, we've got people already booked in for April that we couldn't start for 2.5 weeks, or nearly 3 weeks. They can actually start training on Thursday.
Yeah, and the plan as well, Linton, is we're going to use the lecture content filmed for now, but we're going to actually do them in the studio here behind as well with the presenters one-on-one behind a green screen to make it more personal when people log in. But it was really good, and thanks everyone who tuned in. Paul Sanders has gone. Formatise has always done this off the shelf. We should never have moved away from it to an invisible product regarding maybe the text or leads to clients or things, something like that. So Paul's putting feedback on that one. We have Peter Pan going, cleaners can go to the Gov website and do a course on the COVID-19 and get a certificate that way. That's great. So on the government website, I think that will help anyone. So any franchisee, do that COVID-19 course where you answer the questions, you get the certificate. Thanks to everyone who's put that in. That's really awesome. Don McInnes gone. There's a lot out of our control, but the closing of borders is a big concern for businesses with cross-border clients. Now, he's up on the old River way. So that is definitely a point for anyone in those sort of areas on the border.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, nothing much we can do about that one.
Now, Simo's gone here. I have a building inspections business and I'm struggling with leads. I don't have many repeat customers and it's quieter than normal. Any help would be great. Otherwise, I will have an issue paying my fees. From Simo.
Yeah, well, building inspections has got a better case than most for possibly shutting down for the duration if the leads are that bad.
So the answer from Simo is to please email Yazor.
Yeah.
And
I get different responses from different divisions. Certainly some people in mowing are saying they're quiet. Most seem to be busy. Fencing seems to be busy. Cleaning, you get a bit of a mixed response. Some people
it's a mixed response, absolutely.
But building inspections is one that seems to be universally a problem.
So please talk to Yazor, and you're not alone there, Simo, and use Yazor and the mentors and stuff. Let's keep going here, Jim. We've got a heap of questions still. Stephen Ford, it would be great to have Zoom meetings with other gyms mowing franchisees and share how we can better service our clients. Absolutely. They can do Zoom meetings, video conferencing. Yazor can obviously arrange that. All right, here we go. Adam Mink, how should we manage an employee riding along with us from job to job? This isn't keeping social distancing, especially if they don't have their own wheels to follow behind me. It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Because he must be in a ute, I would say, Adam.
I'd say you might want to think about whether you can employ somebody at this very time. I know one franchisee was saying that he didn't want to pay any fees because otherwise he couldn't keep his workers on. And I said, well, you've got to look after your own business first, and if you might have to tell your workers, look, I'm sorry, I've got nothing for you right now.
Yeah, he can't. Well, in regards to, they must have a ute as well, so obviously you can't have people sit next to you in the car now. It's advised you sit in the back seat, so unfortunately it's pretty hard, isn't it? You might have to do that or see what the grants are available for you as well for employees. So
yes,
yeah.
All right,
let's keep going on here. Now, Othie Murray's gone, do you seriously think this will not affect Jim's franchisees' income?
Of course it will affect them.
Yep.
Well, some of them. Some of them, quite a few are still flat out and doing very well, as we've been hearing tonight. A lot of franchises will be affected, of course they will.
Then we've got Lee Walters. Is now a good time to buy a franchise?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Because it'll take you a while to get through the whole process of training and everything like that. And it just can't, it'll be a few weeks at the most when we're really locked down. After that, people are going to start spending. They'll unlock again, as they have done in China and places like that. They can't hold the economy on lockdown. And when we come out of it, we're going to be in a position to be able to get a lot of work.
And then Othie Murray was from Jim's Cleaning in regards to that comment about, does Jim seriously think it won't accept franchisees' income? Well, that's from Othie Murray from Jim's Cleaning. It's a division.
Of course it will.
Absolutely.
That's what we've been making clear all night.
But please take proactive measures, whatever you can do. Advice from Yazor. Get on the front foot much as you can.
It's what you can do. People know my story. I started off in 1982, mowing business with no customers and no income behind me and deeply in debt. And every lawn in Melbourne died in the first week. And I just kept busy. I just did everything I needed to do. I was just proactive. I did everything. I started the watering service. I did, because you weren't allowed to, you had to water by hand. I did all kinds of stuff. You just got to be, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And if you've got what it takes and you spend your effort and your time to do it. If you want to sit back and say, hey, I need the text to come through from my phone, that's all I'm going to do, well, then you could be in trouble.
Now, then Dwayne's gone here. Did all Jim's franchisees in NZ get locked down, or are some classes essential? Just trying to gauge how it will go here for lockdown.
They're all locked down.
All locked down, Dwayne.
All locked down. We want to challenge that. We want to say that we think it's wrong, and I want the franchisors to, if the franchisors will agree, to have a go. I actually filled in the form, and I gave answers to all the questions, proposed answers to all the questions, to give them a guide as to how to do it.
And all the Zors have that now as well to do and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I did that for the mowing division as a first, but they could be dog wash as well. I think we should just make effort.
So Eric's gone with a comment regarding his suggestion. You could still pay the lead fees associated to get the fees. That's his suggestion. Remember his feed about suspending the franchise but taking leads still. He's saying you could still pay the lead fees associated to get the fees.
But it won't cover the costs of the
call centre. Okay.
Because that goes to the franchisor. Unless the franchisor wants to pay the conference centre, the call centre, I don't see how you can do it.
Now Tim Scott's gone here. Hey Jim and Joel, under current circumstances, if a franchisee suspends their franchise, are they able to continue servicing existing customers? Interesting question.
No. Actual fact, what we're saying...
Well, how do we know though? That's a good point.
Well, no, one of the things we're saying is if you're locked down completely, like it's happening in New Zealand, and you can't, that's one thing. But if you're simply saying, I want to lock down because, say, I've got to stay home and look after sick kids, for example, what will then happen is your franchise, so that's okay, we want to keep your goodwill in place, so let me have a list of what customers are due, and we'll pass them to other franchisees so they can service them.
Yep.
So to make sure the customers are looked after. Now, if somebody says, oh no, I want to keep on doing them, well, you're not really suspended, are you?
True. So the answer is to keep them live if they're still servicing
Yeah.
existing customers.
Because you don't want to lose the goodwill.
Correct.
If you're going to be at home for a fortnight, your customers need to be looked after. So why not let your fellow franchisees make an income out of it? And then when you come back, you don't find the lawn's overgrown or whatever it is.
Thanks for that question, Tim. That was a good one. The Othie Murray's gone. I'm going to read, because we read every comment and question as much as we can, so I'm going to read this, even though there's a bit of something in here. He says, stop giving the church all your money and you would have heaps to help your franchisees. That's a pretty... I can understand you're impossibly hurting there, Othie, but...
Yes, well, I don't know what you think I tie to the church, but it wouldn't make a lot of difference to my franchisees. This whole idea that I could spend, untold millions to just prop up all my franchisees' income is just... You got to understand how Jim's works. It's a very small percentage. It's a lot of people.
Well, we're doing cutbacks internally as it is, so people losing their jobs and
That's
stuff
right.
like that. So
people often say to me, Jim, why don't you take some of your uncounted millions and put them into an advertising campaign into my area so I can get more work? But it just doesn't work. There isn't the money. The system doesn't allow it. Maybe I should be taking higher fees. Maybe I should be taking 15% instead of 8%. But
to get that penthouse on the Gold Coast, that people think you have.
Yeah, then I'd be able to have a few millions set aside. But we just don't do it. It's a very...
I can sense you're hurting, Othie. I'd say get to your Zor, get some plans, get accountable, hustle. You've got to hustle and grind really hard during this period, unfortunately.
I had a guy from Johnny King who'd been estate manager for Johnny King, and he had a look at my financials and how much money I make, and he says, what you do is ridiculous. You make less money for Jim's group whole national than we do from our West Australia region, because they take
Really?
15%.
Gee whiz, wow.
So it's guys, I wish I was as rich as you think I am, and I wish I could afford to tithe so much to church that taking it out of the church would give you all a comfortable retirement.
And I read that out because everyone who leaves a comment, I try and get to as many as we can.
It doesn't work that way, sorry.
That's why we read them out. Luke O'Neill's gone, it's a great time to upskill, try and find an online course and learn more about your industry. Great point, Luke. That's a really good comment. John Egan's gone, Jim's Dog Wash Gold Coast. If bottle shop closes, would Jim start up his own brand beer? Would you? I've remember suggested Jim's Brew before. Would be a great logo on the beer.
Oh, look, if we had the right person, I think Jim's Liquor Home Delivery, I'd be into it.
There is one called Jimmy Brings. There's actually a company in Melbourne called Jimmy Brings who does that
I
already.
don't know that we brand it, but delivery is something. Like Home Fresh does fruit and vegetables and stuff, which is probably more my style anyway, but still, if somebody wants to do...
I'd love to do a Jim's beer.
Jim's Liquor Delivery.
Yeah, Jim's Brew would be great on a beer.
I'd probably draw the line at Jim's Call Girls or something like that. But
We'll keep going. Wait till it's around the 10-foot pole. All right, Dave McDonald's. I can text clients from ServiceMate, cost 8 cents per SMS. ServiceMate's a great product. It's a really good product, and we hope that Jim's Jobs, when it's done, will have similar features. I know that was one of the programs to copy, or some of the features in essence, wasn't it?
Well, actually, those who are still on Formatize can use Formatize if that's possible for it. It'd be nice to know actually what the
If people still use Formatize and they use it. Exactly right.
We're still paying for Formatize. We're actually paying their full commercial rate for the people who want to use it. So it's not as though anybody's been stopped from using it. But if you can show us what that is, texting clients, we can include it fairly quickly in Jim's Jobs.
Here we go. Richard Birch has got a soft copy of our business cards. We could text to email customers would be useful in these times. If someone could provide a template, we could enter our details ourselves. A soft copy of our business cards. You all have the PDFs which they send to Lod to Dynamite or whoever they do. But that's a great point, and definitely do that. You could find a lot online if you Google that as well. Talk to you all, see what they can provide to you. Dave McDonald's gone, how can we train new franchisees if we have to social distance? It's a good point, actually. You probably can't for now, can you? But we can do the training online, obviously, but in regards to the out in the field stuff.
If you need to actually be with somebody in the field, I'd say, no, you really probably can't do it. But most divisions doesn't require that.
Then John Egan's gone, Jim's Group. I know he doesn't drink, but it could be a good business. Absolutely, it could be. I reckon doing our own beer would be the way to go as well. We can go on business partners with you there, John. Jim, you need to start coughing into your elbow and not your hand, as this is what is now expected by everyone.
That
and
is
you need
true.
to. Geez, Eric's onto it. He's always picking us up. It's good, Eric. I love it.
That is true.
That is very correct. Dave McDonald's, farms are essential services, so if a farmer rings, I will always be able to work for them as I'm contracting for an essential service. Might be a busy time for CCTV. That's actually a ripping point. Heap of dairy farmers, heaps of crop farmers, beef farmers, all that sort of stuff. So absolutely, you should be deemed as an essential service. That's a good angle, actually. Fencing as well for them. Fencing for farms. I know fences can farm all that sort of stuff. Nigel Telford's gone. Here in NZ, the government offers a $7,000 payout for all businesses during this period of shutdown, 12 weeks. So they're offering a $7,000 payout in NZ at the moment.
7,000.
$7,000. So Nigel's in NZ. Thanks for leaving that one there, Nigel. That's a really good one. Then Paul Sanders gone, create a contact card yourself in your phone and send that to your clients. That's what I've set up with all our guys to do from Jim's Diggers Australia. So that's a great one. So you can set up in your phone and send that to your clients. So if you have, I reckon just Google that. I think Richard before, how to set that up. There'll be YouTube videos on to do that. Please do. That's a great point from Paul. Now we've had a heap of questions, Jim's. It's been out of control. And also that certificate. Please do that COVID certificate. We've put a link in the comments. Do that. Get on the front foot with clients as Dean suggested. That's really good. We've got around 124 people watching still, Jim. We do this every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So next Wednesday again, it's probably a good time to jump on because it could be heaps of developments. We don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll leave Jim there. I know Jim's very tired. He's got to get back to emails and up to 4 a.m. Keep doing them. So thanks everyone for leaving your comments or questions. Hopefully I didn't miss many tonight. If I did, I apologise. Next Wednesday, 7 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, we will be on again. So
if you have any questions, you can email me direct, and I promise to get around to it, no matter how late I have to stay up to do it.
So Jim at Jim's Lynette, everyone please stay safe. Make sure you do everything and get on the front foot as much as you can. And we'll update you next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. And there might be emails in the week regarding parliamentarians to email, depending on the advice that's given as well.
We'll keep you posted. We'll tell you if we've got any news. We won't email you for no reason, but if there's anything to say, we'll let you know. Correct.
So please stay safe. Use your Zor, use your Z's. Make some time with your family as well. Reconnect with the other ones. So we wish you all the best in this time and see you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.